Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the From the Banking podcast for yet another motorsport podcast. I'm joined tonight by Aaron. How are we doing, Aaron?
Yeah, no bad. I'm alive after the weekend, so
Excellent.
that's
It was a
important.
good weekend at Knockhill, wasn't it? But we're going to that a wee bit later on because tonight we have a special guest. We have Adam. Hi, Adam. How you doing?
Hello, I'm really good. How's yourselves?
Like Aaron says, we're getting over a very long weekend at Knockhill. There was a lot of races at the weekend and not so many marshals because they picked a weekend, the weekend after the Grand Prix and the weekend when Goodwood is on. So it was very thin with marshals at the weekend.
And to add to that, the bike marshals that also do cars or East Fortune do the bike meet.
Yes, there was a bike meet.
It was not in our favour.
So
I
they're
know.
on the
So yeah,
desperate lookout for marshals.
what's that, mate?
They're on the desperate lookout for more marshals.
Yes. But as always, when you get to Touring Car Weekend, which is our next event at Knockhill, I think it's on the 8th of August, I believe.
8th, 9th of August, the weekend is.
They're oversubscribed for marshals, surprisingly enough. So they usually need about 100, I think, 90, 100 marshals for that event. And I think he's already sitting at like 110, 120 already applying to do it. So
I thought, was it not 150, Alan was saying?
it could have been, it could be he needed 120 and he's got 150.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I know.
I'm the marshal in it, so I'm willing to cross.
There you go. So, Adam, if you don't mind, mate, if you could give us a wee bit of background to yourself. I know you're a motorsport fan and you've got a podcast with your daughter, which we're going to later on. But if you could let our listeners know just a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm 35. I'm from South Shields, which is in the northeast of England, between that little bit in between Sunderland and Newcastle that separates us. I've been a McLaren fan since I think it was about 97. David Coulthard, Mika Häkkinen sort of days.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just followed it through the whole time being McLaren.
Yeah. So you would say you're a McLaren fan as opposed to a particular driver fan? You follow the team?
Always followed McLaren. Like it was the days of the West. Can you remember the West?
Yeah. And at certain tracks, they weren't allowed to advertise the West, so it had to say David or Mickey on the side.
Yeah, it was to do with, I don't know what West was. I never looked into it, but
I think it was a cigarette brand.
Was it?
Yeah.
But yeah, they were the days I started following Formula One, like at my grand's on a Sunday. It was just on one day, and I used to call it, I know you're not supposed to, I don't know what language that, but I used to call it the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And my grand was like, no, it's like French, and you don't say the X, so it's Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And ever since then, like I've fell in love with it, and there's just something that gets you on with it. And my wife and my daughter, so my wife, it's coming up to 4 years to being with my wife, Reed. We've been together for 11 years. We've got 11-year-old daughter, but that's a different story. And I've getting them into Formula One. So as I was explaining to you, like I've never been to a Formula One race in my life.
Mm-hmm. But I've seen your TikTok. Have you got tickets now? Are you going next year?
I am. My first time ever. So not last year, but the year before, just after the Grand Prix last year at Silverstone. My wife got us tickets for Christmas to go down to the Silverstone Museum.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought, what an idea. Go a couple of days after the Grand Prix, might be cars testing on the track. And we stayed at Escapade, just where Maggots and Beckett's going to chapel.
Yep.
And there was Mercedes was testing with Fred Vesti. There was Aston Martin on the Tuesday with Lance Stroll. There was a Red Bull and there was a Haas car testing.
Excellent.
So that's my first ever time of seeing a Formula One car on a track, and it just blew me mind. And then like when this Grand Prix when like the one a couple of weeks ago at Silverstone, it was right, we need to do it. So when the camping went out, I was like, I'm reserving my spot and I'm going next year because we're not going on holiday. So yeah, I'm going to Silverstone for the first time, my first Grand Prix next year.
Wow. If you don't mind me asking, because we, as marshals, we don't specifically pay for tickets. How much are the tickets now for?
So we haven't gotten with tickets because the tickets don't come out till September.
Right, okay.
So we've paid for the camping with electric. So from the Wednesday to the Monday, you've got to pay for your camping. You've got to pay tickets to get in, your car pass, and your tent pitch. And that, all in all, at the minute's cost us $610.
Wow. And that's just for the camping.
Tickets. Yeah. But when I've been reading up and speaking to people that's been like this weekend and previous weekends, like once the racing's finished and you've got the event, so like I'm in the family area with obviously my wife and my daughter, there's loads of stuff on for the kids and like there's music and everything. And and apparently it's all free. So I'm guessing.
Yep.
Is the
So
reason it's
when
so
you
much-
get into this, when you get into the circuit, I don't know much about the campsite. I will be honest with you, but once you're in the circuit, once you've gone through the gates and you're actually inside the circuit, the main stage is free the whole weekend. So whoever is on the main stage, I think this year we had
it was
David
Guetta,
Guetta,
wasn't
he
he?
headlined, yeah, and all those things. That is free once you're in.
Is that in
And
the inner circle, the inner track?
no, nope, nope. The main stage is you would walk round from, say you come in the Cops Gate, for example. You would come in the Cops Gate, take a right, walk down, and as you get to where the museum is,
Yeah,
there is the big Ferris wheel.
right.
You take a left, and the actual Silverstone kart track, and the stage is just right there at the end of the Silverstone kart track. So it's not on the inner. It's not on the inner track. It's on the outer track.
Because I'm led to believe the campsite that we've booked just behind the Lando stand.
Right. Okay. Right.
When I've
So
done-
if you walk into the main stage from the Lando stand, now you've said you've got kids and stuff, you're probably looking about 20 minutes probably to walk around from that area to
Yeah.
the stage, because you've got to come down. It's a really weird setup. You've got to come down, you've got to walk through a tunnel, but then you're right in front of it. You've no roads to cross or anything, because there is a road that goes over to like the paddock and the inner circle and stuff. But yeah, you're really going to enjoy it, mate. You're really going to enjoy it.
I'm going to October in Florida in October, and we went like
I've got to ask whereabouts?
Orlando, Disney.
Disney.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
So we went in 2024, and you know the big hurricane that hit,
Yeah.
Hurricane Milton. Well, guess who got caught in it?
Oh.
Yeah, we got caught in it. A 10-day holiday got muddled down to 2 days to 8 days because we
Did you get to go to Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom and Epcot?
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff?
we've done them all, but we're going back
There is
for 2
nothing,
weeks.
in my opinion, there is nothing, and I'm saying this as somebody that's nearly 50, there is nothing more magical than walking through the gate at Disney straight into Main Street and seeing the castle right there.
Takes your breath away, doesn't it?
The most magical thing is actually seeing the Legends restart and not kill. I'm just gonna say that now.
He's obviously never been to Disney, has he?
No,
I have actually. I went to Paris.
don't
He's
even
good,
go
he's
there.
good,
I
he's
went
brilliant.
to Paris in January this year, and it's like a Temu Disney. It's like Disney just minimized.
Yeah, I've
It's
heard
still quite good though.
I've heard loads of people say like if you've been to like Disney World in Florida and you go to
Yeah.
like the Paris one, it's just there's
Mhm.
just no comparison to it.
Yeah. Are you getting a car? Are you hiring a car and stuff to drive about, or?
No, because there's free shuttle buses from the hotel, so we'd just be up early shuttle bus to
Yeah.
Disney.
If you could, I would recommend if you could spend a day at Universal as well.
We
Just
haven't
'cause
got
Universal-
Universal, because we've just paid what was it, an extra £280 for the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party.
Oh yeah, that's the late night
That-
one.
It's extra on top, so
Yeah. Please tell me you're going to stay for the happily ever after at the end of the night, though.
I cry at it. It's magic.
I can't show you because my camera's up there, but I've still got the video on my phone.
Yeah, I've still got it on my phone off last time. There's just something about it. It's just purely magical.
And then, sorry, Aaron, then you get Tinkerbell that comes across from the top.
Yeah,
It
she
just
does it on
goes
certain
down on the-
nights. Yeah.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it. And to be fair, after that, we went to Tron because Tron was still open to the back of 10 o'clock. So we walked through the thingy to go into Tron. That was
Yeah,
quite
that's
good.
one ride I need to do this year because I didn't do it last year.
Right. Anyway, we're digressing from motorsport here.
I was just thinking that we've gone from what how we started to
Is this
spoke
a Disney
McLaren to
podcast or is
Disney
it a
World in
Formula
what
One?
the span of 10 minutes.
Yeah. So do you prefer the Ron Dennis days, or are you quite happy with the way it's going at the moment? With
I really enjoyed the Ron Dennis days of like kind of say the David Coulthard, the Mika Hakkinen. Then you kind of had Lewis that come through, but you had a few drivers in between, like Stoffel von der Oom, if that's how you pronounce it.
Stoffel Van Dorn?
That's the one. Yeah, you had him. You had kind of Sergio Perez, and then like Lewis, Fernando.
Yeah. Did Ericsson ever drive for McLaren? I can't remember.
Who's that? Sorry.
Marcus Ericsson, did he ever drive?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think he
No.
did.
I just remember. There was another name, kind of like Hakkinen, that was driving for them for a while.
Fernando.
No, Fernando's Spanish. It was like
Oh,
a.
yeah, I know.
It was a Finnish.
Oh, hey, cool lion.
That could have been him.
Heikki Kovalainen drove for McLaren. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't
And
know
the-
the finish. I thought it meant legendary drivers.
and the sounds and the smells were a lot different then as well. But I've got to say, where you were at Escapade, you'll have seen them through Mackett's and Beckett's doing their testing. This year, I was in Cops. I was in the light panels at Cops.
Yeah.
and just watching them coming up, and then they're coming right, because obviously we're at the side of the track. I could stick my head out, and it literally was, they would come along like that, and then just boom, they were gone. And seeing it on the telly, it looks good, but seeing it in real life, you wonder how they do it.
Well, I've got videos on my phone. On the it was on the Wednesday morning. We went from Escapade down towards Stowe and
Mhm.
round that way out, because we went to the Formula One shop at the Hilton Hotel.
Mhm.
We stopped, you know where the bridge is, just over the top of the track. We stood there, and I've got the video on my phone. Honestly, when the
Mhm.
car come past, it kind of took your breath away.
Yeah, I found my first experience at the actual watching it at the track. And I tried to explain this to people, and they didn't believe what I was saying. You can hear the downforce.
Yeah.
If they're going along it's like you can hear it going and sicking it onto the ground.
There's just no word to describe it, because that part of the track where you're under that bridge, you're literally probably like what you're on most weekends, meters away from the car, and it
Yeah.
just sounded phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah. And again, they do show them individually on the TV, but the whole weekend from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it's a full program of events. So you've got your F1 Academy this year. It was F4 last year. Then you've got F3 that come in after that, and then F2. And if I'm honest, the F3s are louder than anything else, even the Formula Ones.
Right?
Yeah, and then the F2s come out. But what they don't see on the telly is between every single session, there's an army of road sweepers. So there's probably about 15 or 20 road sweepers that just go round the track after every session and clean it
You
it up.
won't leave them out to keep the rubber down and that, wouldn't you?
Aye. See, that's what we thought. They're on. You always hear them on the telly, and they're talking about, it's rubbered in, it's rubbered in. To be fair, I dare say that the road sweepers are only taking up the pebbles as such, the excess
the
rubber.
marbles. Yeah.
Yeah, the marbles. But when we finished on Sunday night, we've only got a 10-15 minute window before they open the gates for all the public to come in. So
Yeah.
they open the gates at Vale first if you have tickets for the podium,
Yeah.
and then they wait another 10-15 minutes to open up the rest of the circuit.
Wait, you have those specific tickets for the podium?
Yes.
Seriously? I thought it was just track invasion.
No. Certain gates. It's the gate at Vale that they open up, and you have to have the correct wristband. See, we have these wristbands. I'll show you in this camera first. So we have these wristbands that get us onto the actual circuit. I'll show it to that camera as well. But that wouldn't get us through the Vale gate it's a specific one for the podium. Only in there.
Well, it's not trained for my pit marshal, don't I?
But what they do is, the reason they do it that way is if they opened all the gates at one time, it would be pandemonium.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, over the weekend there was 500,000 people went to the circuit. I think it was 585,000, roughly.
It was a record Grand Prix, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. So, but what you find is everyone that comes on at, say, Lando stand, Beckett's, Cops, whatever, they're not rushing down to the podium to see the podium. They're rushing to the sides to try and steal the DHL signs and try to take all the Rolex signs and all that kind of stuff. And it's quite funny because they get to the gate to try and get out with it, and the security guards are always like, "Did you come on the circuit with that?" And they're like, "No, well, you ain't leaving with it either." And all they've done is they've tried to steal all the advertisement boards, and they've just piled them up for the guys to come in later on and pick them up anyway.
They've done someone's job for them.
Yeah. You see some TikToks, you see a lot of TikToks, and like, look what I've got, and they're taking selfies with it, and I've got this. But you never see a TikTok with it in their house because they never get off the circuit with it. They would have to go through.
That would ruin my
Yeah.
weekend.
Aye, because they've got to go through two sets of security to get it out of the circuit. You've got the first gate, which is the gate off the circuit, and then you've got the next gate, which is the gate actually out of the circuit itself.
Yeah.
So you've always got two bits of security to go through. But hey, they try. You've got to like a trier.
God loves a trier.
Aye. But as a marshal, we obviously get access, elite access. So you've got, I think, fast track on the Sunday starts at 6:30, I believe. And believe me, there are people queuing up at the gates at 6:30 to get in the circuit on the Sunday. They're probably on GA tickets or general admission tickets, so they want to get their spot, which is fine. But as marshals, you're classed as staff, so you just go around the edge of the queue and get to the front. Somebody tried to stop me coming in this year, actually. "Oh, we've got to let these in first." I says, "Well, I'll tell you what, see if I don't get in there. There's no lights at Cops, so the race won't be happening." "All right then." And they let me in. But like I said, that I think, I don't know if you've seen my TikTok on the thank you bags. So marshals always get a thank you bag at Silverstone from It's a mixture between the FIA, Motorsport UK, and the teams. So this year we got a hat that was from Silverstone. That hat up there, that was from the teams. We've got a program, which a program is usually £20. So if you add everything up, it's probably about 130 quid's worth of free stuff, which isn't too bad. I'm not, the only thing is you don't get to choose the hat. I wouldn't have chose that one. I'd have got like a Lando one or something. I quite like the Lando
Yeah,
one.
he's Silverstone one.
Yeah. So that one just says volunteer on the back. So you know, if people know what it is, they know it's you marshalled at the Grand Prix because you've got that.
Right.
And you get a couple of pin badges and stuff. What's that? What's that, Aaron?
Yeah, I was just going to go about it as well. Just to add to what you get. This isn't normal. The 2 CVs came down and just gave us all 3 hats, I think, just for a laugh. So, I mean, even like, it doesn't just happen at F1. Like, even just random club meets like this. We've got a BRS CCE hat, one of the first place ones. It's quite cool, actually. And like, driven by racing is what it says on that. You can't really see it, but you get the point. But even just things like that, just cool little hats you get, you know?
So that's
We
like
are
a
quite
podium
spoiled
hat.
sometimes, you know?
Sorry, Adam, what did you say there?
So that's like a podium hat, like what they would have getting for first place.
Yeah. Got first place inside of it. It's quite neat.
That's quality, that.
Quite chuffed with it, to be fair.
So you were saying as well that you were trying to become a marshal. You were going to become a marshal, is that right?
Yeah, so was it through the? I think it was through the qualifying. Martin Brundle was saying on Sky Sports, like if you want to do marshal and then like is it the BMCC, the British Marshal?
BMMC is a club, but you need to register as a UK marshal first. So you would go into motorsportuk.org, fill out the form on there, and there's a little, I don't know, it's like one of these e-learning things that you do at work. You fill all that in, send them your photograph, and then they'll send you your marshal's license.
All right.
So once you've got that, then you can apply to your local circuit. So you're northeast, would you be Croft? Would that be your closest probably? Alton Park or Croft?
I think it would be Croft, yeah.
Yeah, I think Croft is, yeah. It's Darlington, that isn't it? Croft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be my closest one.
Croft's quite a good track as well, to be fair.
It does have an amazing group of marshals at Croft, I must admit.
And it needs a lot of marshals as well at Croft, so never going to be turned people away.
There's an awful lot of Scottish marshals go down to Croft as well and do
Right.
stuff down there. So all you would do is you would email probably the chief marshal at Croft and ask him for a taster day. Because once you've got your license, you can do what they call a taster day, and you'll go in first thing in the morning, you'll get a safety briefing, you get explained a little bit about what marshalling is, and then they'll take you out to whatever post you're allocated for the rest of the day. Marshalling isn't for everyone. You might be really excited to do it and then find out when you actually do it, maybe I just quite like watching it from the side, if you get what I mean.
Yeah. Well, that's the one thing that I'm waiting for is an email back to go on a taster day.
Right. From Croft.
I will say, I made the mistake of applying to a marshal, getting my license, and then sitting back for a year waiting to be given an event to do. Like literally, I sat for a year into 34
So
and just did nothing, and then started 35 season. I just emailed Not Kill and went, "How do I actually do this?" And I just sort of put it on down and just I got involved that way.
Yeah. Who did you email about the taster, David? Don't mind me asking.
That's the email on my phone. It says, "Thank you for your inquiry regarding the BMMC taster day. A member of the BMMC will be in contact with you soon regarding your inquiry. However, if you've not heard from us within 2 weeks, please get in touch. I am the British Motorsports Marshals Club."
When was that? How long ago was that?
On the 4th of the 7th, so I think it was on the Saturday of the Grand Prix.
Okay. Just if you don't hear anything back, let me know, and I'll give you the email address for the Chief Marshal at Croft.
Yeah.
And you can email him
Why
direct.
do you have that?
It's not exactly very hard to figure it out, even if I
Fair
didn't.
enough.
If there's like a thing where you can do online to like get your marshal's card so you can start gaining experience, gladly do that.
Well, to get your marshal's license, literally all you need to do is go into motorsportuk.org and register. That is it.
Yeah.
There's no fee. There's no fee or anything. You fill in your details. You do like the online. It's like a health and safety video thing that you go through.
Yeah.
You do that. It'll ask you to upload your photograph, and then within 7 to 14 days, you'll get your card in the post.
Yeah, and then there's also, if you're just bored and you've got nothing to do, there's a bunch of courses you can do in there as well, which help push you towards upgrades and that as well. Got to do certain amount of signatures to get upgraded, but...
What do you mean by upgrades by that? Because I thought they would just kind of...
So you start as... So if we go from my point of view, if you're under 16, you start as a cadet marshal, which is why I'm the cadet marshal, and then you go to just marshal. So I'm not sure it's trainees, something like that.
Yeah.
And then you can go to grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, and then post chief. And you can go to specific roles as well and get higher up in each role. But to go from like trainee to grade 1, you need to do certain courses and have a certain amount of days you've done. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, yes.
So it all comes back around in the end. Training days are quite useful as well. As far as I'm aware, Croft do some, where you go down and you basically just do a bunch of courses for the day. Just like the practical ones that you can't do online. So it's pretty easy to get there eventually. You just need to sort of turn up and just do stuff.
Yeah. So I'll just elaborate a little bit on what Aaron said there. So
I'm going with the basics. That's it.
Yeah. So from trainee, which is now known as accredited marshal, that's what you do your little health and safety thing for, and it'll come through accredited marshal. Once you have done 21, 22 days, right? So that could be 10 weekends in a year if it's a 2-day event. So many of them have to be track, so many of them have to be flag, and I think so many have to be incident. And if you've done them and you've done the training day, you upgrade to a grade 1, which used to just be track marshal. Then once you've done and you get a bit more experience and some more signatures, you can upgrade to be a grade 2 marshal, but you can specialize. You can be a grade 2 flag. You could be a grade 2 incident officer. There is people out there that have been marshalling for 50 years who are still grade 1. They're not interested in flags. They're not interested in an IO. They just want to turn up, do the marshal thing, push people out, do the brushing. Oh, that's what they want to do. Then after you've done grade 2, again, you need to gain more signatures, do more training, but you can become a post chief, and then you can go one further and you can be an examiner. So you can examine people that are trying to get their flag. There's loads and loads and loads of different ways to progress in marshalling. All you have to do, once you have done your 20 odd days and upgraded to grade 1, you only have to do 1 training day every 2 years and 4 meetings in a 12-month period to keep your grade. Because if you don't do 4 meetings or a training day, then you go back down to like trainee again, and you've got to do the whole thing again.
Yeah.
It sounds quite complicated and it looks quite complicated, but it really isn't, because all you do is you'll say, right, I can do X, 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 and X this year, and I can do X, 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 and X next year. And the club will keep you right and say, right, you've done this many days. We'll do your, what do they call it? We'll do your assessment for grade 1. And they'll just do your assessment there and then, and then you'll get a new card through the post that'll say grade 1.
All right. Like that's what I was going to ask, is like how do you like do it, and like do you have to do so many races then to get into Formula One, or?
Yes. So you have to be grade 1 to start with.
Yeah.
So to get into Formula One, you need to be a grade 1 to start with. So you'll have to have done your 20 odd days anyway to upgrade to grade 1.
Yeah.
After that, it does become a little bit easier. But again, it takes some people years to get accepted. It takes some people months. It's not. I'm quite easy now because I did touring cars at Silverstone.
Right.
So I was on the Silverstone system as marshalling at Silverstone. And since then, I've got Formula One every single year. They do try and take the British marshals first because it's a British Grand Prix, but they also want it to be a multinational event. So I think this year there was 1,000 marshals that were there.
1,000? Right, okay.
1,000, yeah.
Wow.
That's including pit marshals, flag marshals, because you got to remember on every post there's 3 flag marshals.
Yeah.
A blue flag, a
One
yellow
for blue
flag,
one for the general flag, one for the
light panels.
light panel, don't you?
Yeah.
I'm impressed
And then-
that I know that, by the way.
So it's like how you see you've got 3 marshals. So there's one doing the yellow flag, there's one doing double yellows, there's one doing blues.
Well, no, there's one doing all yellows. So if it's a single yellow, they'll wave 1. If it's a double, they'll wave 2. The blue flag marshal is the best one to get because all the blue flags are done by GPS on race day. So you don't need to do much on the race day apart from watch the race. Or, like me, light panels. You don't need to wave anything. You just press buttons. Aye. But there's 3 on every post. There was 27 posts at the Grand Prix. So you've got those 3. You've also got 5 or 6 incident marshals, or intervention marshals as they like to call them. You'll also have an incident officer. You'll have a radio marshal. You'll have your post chief. So you've got all them on one, and you've got 27 of those all the way around the track. Yeah.
But like,
So I'm guessing your incident marshals are like, say, like when Max went off at Lando Standard Store, you'd have them incident marshals that just jump on that.
Yes. So the incident marshals are the ones that went out and they're like, right, Max, get out. And they're the ones that sort it out. Then it would be a crane operator would bring the JCB out, but the incident marshals would hook it all up and all that kind of stuff and make sure it's level while they're pushing it away.
Telehandler, yeah.
Yeah. So you can get really, really hands-on. Or if you're like me, you can just sit in a box and press buttons all weekend.
Yeah, I would, because I was ex-military as well. Like I served me through a bit in the reserves,
Mhm.
and through like being at work and stuff, I've done my first aid. So I think I'd like kind of the incident side of it.
Mhm.
Because like I like me medical stuff and I like kind of being
Mhm.
hands-on and helping and
Well,
stuff like.
that's another thing you can go into, you see. So
Yeah, good
once
point,
you've
actually, yeah.
marshalled and gone into grade 1, for example, you can say you're at Croft. So the chief marshal at Croft is called Bill Sudlow. You could say to him, listen, I'm grade 1 now, blah, blah, blah. I'd really like to go and try out doing rescue. That's the motorsport ambulances that you see at the side of the track.
Yeah.
And they got deployed quite a few times at Knockhill, by the way, this weekend, which is quite unusual.
Yeah.
And we had doctors out, we had ambulances out. So you can go into that side of it as well. You just don't have to be an intervention marshal or a track marshal. You can go into the rescue side of it and recovery and all that kind of stuff as well.
So also as well, do you get like with you being like quite involved with Silverstone, do you kind of get emails to go abroad at different racetracks abroad and that as well? Do you
So
get
to go abroad, it's all down to the marshal to apply to go abroad. So what you would do is if you want to marshal abroad, you need to write to Motorsport UK, send them a quick email and say you would like to go abroad, and they will send you a letter that they send out saying that they are willing for you to marshal abroad. Once you have that letter from Motorsport UK, you have to apply through the clubs. So if you wanted to marshal, I know it's shutting down, right? So that's why I'll use this one as an example. If you wanted to email Zandvoort to do Formula One, you would have to email the organising club, the Motorsport UK version at Zandvoort. There is a wealth of people online that will let you know. There's a really interesting lassie on TikTok called Motorsport Marshal. So a lassie called Yvette. She was really helpful. I asked her about Bahrain and stuff because she's done all that. And she sent me a link with all the email addresses that you need to write to ask. But as long as you get the letter from Motorsport UK to say that they're willing for you to go abroad, that's all you need.
There shouldn't be any reason for them not to give that, as far as I'm aware.
No, there isn't. As long as you've upgraded to grade 1.
Is that it? Because
Yeah. They don't like doing it for like trainees. They
Right.
like to get a bit of experience under your belt first. Again, it all depends how much time you have. If you've got quite a bit of time on your hands at the weekend, you could probably get your 20 upgrades by going to different circuits, or your 20 signatures by going to different circuits. It just
does
depends
that
what
have
time
to
you've
be
got.
motorsport? Like, does it have to be like cars, or can you go and do bikes and stuff, or is it just any
bikes is
kind-
weird. So Motorsport UK do cars. I know that they just do cars. I did one bike meet, and okay, well I'll probably do more because it's good fun to be fair. And they have a complete different governing body. There's one just for Scotland, as far as I'm aware, and I think there's one for England. I have no idea how it works, but the governing bodies are separate.
Yeah. As long as
Yeah.
the event that you are marshalling is Motorsport UK approved, that counts as a signature. So it could be car racing at Croft, it could be truck racing at Donington. As long as it's sanctioned by Motorsport UK, you can get that signature, and that will go towards your upgrade for grade 1.
Pretty sure karts go into Motorsport UK as well, do you know?
Some kart events do, yeah.
Yeah, it
the-
sort of depends.
Yeah. So obviously we had the supercarts at Knockhill this weekend, and that counted obviously because it was in the program and it was a Motorsport UK sanctioned event. So
There was
like,
something,
I
alright,
think
supercarts?
the go-karting track near mine, Carton Northeast, do karting events, like the young kids, like to progress through into Formula One. So would
Mhm.
that kart track, if it's sanctioned by the Motorsport UK and I attend as a marshal, I could get a
Yep.
signature?
Yeah. If
Yep.
it's sanctioned by
You-
Motorsport,
You would just need to check with them that it is a Motorsport UK sanctioned event.
All right. And is all this done on an app, or is there a website where you log in and you
you get a logbook. So
I've
I
not even
would
got
put mine
mine
in this and
handy.
bag in that cupboard.
So when you register, they'll send you, they call it a PRC, or a personal record card, and you just fill that in every time and get it signed. There is sections on the Motorsport UK website where you can download parts of it. So say my original PRC went in the washing machine by mistake, so I lost all my signatures, but I got another book of my chief marshal. He's still got 52 signatures he needs to write in it, right, by the way. But I just filled out everything that I'd done, and he'll go back and sign them all, stuff like that. But yeah, you
Alright,
can get it. You can download it all online if you really
Oh,
need
well,
to.
that's all right then.
Aye. But as soon as you sign up, they will send most of that out to you anyway. And then every year they will send you, have I got one handy? I don't. You'll get a Motorsport UK lanyard because every year you need to update your license card. It doesn't cost anything. You just renew it, and it'll
Yeah.
have a big 2026 on it as opposed to 2025 or whatever. And you'll get Motorsport UK lanyard, window stickers for your car that say Marshall on them. If you want to put that in your top window of your car, it's up to you. Aaron's looking for something now.
I'm grabbing my logbook. Hold on. Which one's my ones? Which one's my ones?
So as
That's
well,
my one,
like,
right. So I'll show you. So
you at Silverstone had your headset on.
Yes.
Do you, yeah, what like kind of the the race controller saying through that headset and that, do you?
Yes. So Silverstone is slightly different. So Silverstone run on a digital system that is specific for F1. On my radio, it said panel marshal, or sorry, FIMS panel marshal. The yellow flag, it said yellow flags. The blue flag, it said blue flags. So they could be talked to individually. But there is a general one that goes all the way around. Now, at most circuits, the only people that will be issued with a radio is your post chief for radioing in if somebody's been doing track limits or if somebody goes off. So most of us, again, I don't have anything here because it's all still down the stairs from the weekend. We all have little scanners, like Baofeng scanners you can get on Amazon. They're about 20, 25 quid. And all you need to do is get the frequency off whoever's on post with you. They'll have the frequency. And then that means you can listen to race control.
So just show you what these look like. So I'm pretty sure it gets in the middle of your card. Pretty sure, don't guarantee that. But is it this one? So your name goes there and you get your registration number, which you'll get on your card. So you just fill it in there. First page, you've just sort of got name, when's your contact name, when's your contact number, temperature, blah, blah, just boring stuff basically. And you got your signatures here. So it'll be date of the event and the venue, discipline it is. So all these are race. One was really cool actually. And then where you were. So it'll be race, you're on track. You could flag, incident, and post chief, right, John? Pretty sure it is, isn't it? That's all the ones.
Oh, he's froze.
John's like, there. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to assume I'm right. And then that's all the bit you fill in.
I'm not sure who's went off.
If you're lazy, but hey, okay, what I do is who signs it? It may be a signature. I don't know. Post chief's written his name a couple of times here, just as a name, because why not? And then their registration number, and then any comments. So comments don't have to be filled in, but it may be filled in by your post chief, just so that if they want to give you any comments on like was weekend, then they go in there. Most of the time, they're all pretty positive. The only negative one I've got in there is from October when it just says meeting cancelled because we got a bunch of fog that rolled in and just cancelled everything.
Oh,
That was
right.
really fun.
So it was nothing that you've done. Put it right.
Literally, John's died. But the entire, like the Saturday of it was fine, but Sunday we rolled in and there was punch fog, like really thick fog. Like you stood at the pit lane exit where the marshal is and looked down the pit lane and you could not see the pit entry. That's how bad it was. I've got it on my phone somewhere, but it's horrible. Like, and we got one series out at 10 a.m, classics out at 10 a.m, and about 5 minutes in, classic went down and just dropped its engine, just blew up. God knows how, but hey. And as far as I'm aware, what I've been told is that post 8 or post 7 went out to go see where it happened and to clean it up, and they could not see where the oil spill was. So that's yeah. So that was at 10 at 10:30, and then they sat about till 2 o'clock, and then eventually the meeting got cancelled. But it was an interesting day. It was season finale as well.
So sat about doing it.
And John's messaged me Wi-Fi rebooting again with full exclamation marks. So he's having great fun. But is that quite cool for
So
Instagram?
because Formula One race, have you not been that high yet?
Race.
Like, have you marshalled at a Formula One race yet or not?
No, it's really, it sucks for me because I'm 15, so I'm only allowed off track at the moment.
Right.
So I can't upgrade. I'm only a cadet marshal. So when I turn 16 and 2027 season, I'll start being a whatever. Well, I'm going to call trainee marshal because I can accredited marshal, I think it was. So I'll have to do 20 more events to get to grade 1, even though I've done about 20 here already because great fun. I still think it is. I might be able to get grade 1 actually quite quickly. I'm not sure. We'll find out. But then even then, I've got to wait to get to grade 1, and then I've got to wait to be 18 years old. So from when I'll start marshalling, I'll have to wait 3 years at a minimum before I can do F1. And then even then, you kind of want to be grade 1, grade 2 to get sort of guaranteed. And you need 12, I think it's 12 signatures you need to actually be allowed in. It's hard to get in, but it makes sense at the same time because it is the British Grand Prix end of the day.
Yeah. So, like, on a race weekend, who decides who goes in which post? Is that the chief marshal, is it, who decides who goes where?
Yeah, not how it is, at least. So chief marshal, or what you'll do is, at least for the SMRC marshals team, you go on and they've got the website, and when you volunteer to events, you'll select a role. So they'll have all names, all roles, and you just get put where your role is. So for me, I have to put assembly because it's the only place I'm allowed. So I just get put in assembly easy. That's slam dunk, easy done. But the rest of them will be like they'll go for flag, incident, post chief, whatever. So they'll just put a random post across circuit.
Right.
So it's quite interesting how it goes. I'm not sure the British Grand Prix if you can choose your role or not. I'm assuming they might have a preferred role, but I'm honestly not sure at all. I can't tell you.
Yeah. So you like to get pit lane and stuff, have you got to be like a professional pit lane marshal, like what you have like flags and all that, have you?
As far as I'm aware, pit lane and it's pretty much like everywhere else. It's just in the pit lane. So obviously it's a bit different. So if you go for your normal post, you have your incident marshals, your flag marshals, post chief, blah blah blah. In the pit lane, you've got chief pit, which will do all that. Normally the grid marshal teams in there, so they'll sort of hang out in the pit lane before they go out to grid races. That's I'll go to have in a minute. They're quite interesting actually. You do still flag in there, like you know at the start of the race where if
Yeah.
somebody stalls on the grid, you have all the folk with yellow flag on the pit wall.
Yeah.
That's your pit marshals. I've done that before with the bikes, which if you're listening, the appropriate bike governing body, you didn't hear that. But yeah, so if I'm on a pit lane, you just sort of get marshals in there. You have certain roles. Not kill with a typical club meet. It's a bit different because there's not much pit activity going on normally. This weekend we did know because I had a 90-minute endurance race with 2 CBs, so they had to do pit stops. They had to track what cars had come in and if they'd done a driver swap or not. Because I had to do 2 pit stops and a driver swap
Right.
over like a 30-minute span. So it was quite interesting to be fair. Yeah, John, do you know about pit marshals? Like sort of
Pit-
difference there.
Sorry, I'm back. By the way, my Wi-Fi completely crashed again.
No, I don't.
Yeah, they are responsible for making sure everybody goes out in the order that they're meant to go out on the same sheet that you have in the
Yeah.
paddock in the assembly. They're there to make sure nobody's speeding in the pit lane. So some of them you'll see with like radar guns. They are there for if somebody pulls into the pits and breaks down, they're responsible for phoning for recovery, radioing for recovery.
I'll give them a shot at the pit lane like you did with a certain touring car.
Yeah. This is going to sound very detrimental, but they generally just walk up and down all day and make sure everything's running smoothly. They need to help push something, they'll push something out of the way. That's it.
That's why I asked John, because John will know more. John will actually think, well, to do this, that. It's like, I basically just said, well, wherever you're flagging the pit want to do this.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
They're kind of like the guys in assembly where they'll get the lunch first. Because they're so
I know, we get it first, and on the second the final race goes out, we can just go. We don't have to stay. You know?
Yeah.
It's great fun.
That's another thing you'll find different circuits around the country. Knock Hill will always supply a hot lunch. So you'll get a steak pie or a Scotch pie plus.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it.
You'll get sandwich roll, big baguette things, crisps, chocolate, juice. You'll get all that. I don't think any other circuit in the country does that. They're
I
marshals.
think it's only Croft and Brands, is it not?
I didn't know. Do Croft do lunches as well?
I think they do, because I think there's a lot of the same sort of marshals that go down. I don't know what has tendency with it, but I think they do.
So, like, what's your typical weekend like? Do you get like your accommodation paid for, or do you get?
No.
You have to
No.
pay for the accommodation and that and stuff. Or,
Yes.
Or what?
They will always supply free camping.
Right.
So me personally now, I don't camp at Knock Hill. I go on the Saturday, I come home, then I go back out the Sunday morning and I come home. I'm about an hour away. Silverstone, yes, I did camp, but the camping's free.
So if we're going to go through what typical day is as well, I think me and John have 2 very different days. So, well, we could go through what day do I go for on the weekend then, John? Saturday or Sunday?
And I can go through my day any day because I'm at the circuit for 6:30, 7 o'clock every race day.
Come on, make it interesting.
Aye.
So recap your Silverstone weekend, like
My
the
Silverstone
position-
weekend.
Recap it. So, do you go in the main building at Silverstone for like a Marshall's talk?
No. So the campsite is open for marshals from the Wednesday. So how you get there is completely up to yourself. Amber, one of the hosts on here, she got the train down from Perth. So she was 8 or so hours on a train.
From Perth.
Aye. Yeah.
Wow.
And
It's
then
dedication.
had to get a taxi across to the circuit. And then she camped all weekend. I didn't get down until the Thursday this time. So it was into the campsite for about 9 o'clock. Everything was set up for the back of 10. We couldn't get into the circuit on the Thursday until 11 o'clock. So we hung about, went into the circuit, went up to you can sit anywhere you want on the Thursday. So we went and sat up in the Hamilton stand and we're looking into the garages and all that kind of stuff. I had my daughter with me this time. Then I had to be back down at the campsite for 6:30 for sign-on, where we get these and the thank you bags. And then I had to be back up again for 7 o'clock for the briefing. And then we had Rui, who was the racing director at Formula One this weekend, a wee Portuguese fella, works for the FIA. So it's either somebody from the FIA or a driver. I mean, last year we had Alex Albon and James Vowles. They came down and they'll do the briefing for what they expect for the flags for the weekend and all that kind of stuff. And then that's you left to your own devices, really, for the rest of the weekend. You're already given the timetable. It's an app that we get called Sportity. So it already gives you the timetable of what time you need to be on post on the Friday, what's expected during the day, and what time we should be finishing. And the same for the Saturday and the same for the Sunday. They supply us with meals. Have I got any? It's over there. So we get breakfast and dinner supplied, but breakfast, lunch, and dinner, to be honest. So the breakfast is a full fry up. I didn't use mine this year. I gave mine to my daughter because it's only the marshals that get it. Your guest doesn't get it.
Right.
So I gave her my breakfast ones. My lunch came to the post, which is relatively the same as the Knockhill lunch that we get, except there was nothing hot in it, obviously, because they're supplying so many and it might sit in the post for an hour before you actually get down to get it. And then at night time, you could go and there was a menu. I can't remember what was on it. There was a different theme every night. So I think it was like Indian one night, Chinese the next night, and the last night was like a pub dinner type thing. I didn't go for any of them, to be fair, but I think that's what it was. And then the Sunday night, I would normally pack up and have to sit and wait for all the traffic to disappear. But luckily this year, Silverstone decided that on the big screen at the main stage, they were going to show the football because England were playing, weren't they?
Good point.
So
That was miserable, wasn't it?
I got down to the campsite, folded the tent up, packed the car up, had a look at the traffic, and it was clear. So we left the campsite at about 6:15, and I was back in Stockport because I was staying at my mum's house on the way back. I was back in Stockport for just after 8.
That's not too bad then.
No. Usually you can queue for hours to get out.
Because from what I remember, there's only one road into Silverstone, isn't there?
Yeah.
Where you go past the Martin garage and then turn left.
Yeah. But what they do is, I think it's the A43, if I remember rightly. They close it. They completely close it on a Grand Prix weekend. And both sides of the dual carriageway go the same way, away from Silverstone. It's weird, because if you walk down to Silverstone Village, you have to walk over a bridge.
Yeah.
That goes over the dual carriageway. And both sides of the dual carriageway are travelling the same way.
I suppose it's to help congestion though, isn't it?
It is. They try and make it so on one side, you've got teams and coaches, and then on the other side, it's just the cars. But I'm led to believe the traffic out of the main gate at Silverstone this year on the Saturday was horrendous. The Aston Martin team actually parked up their minibus at the gates and walked back to the factory.
I'm surprised they don't just walk over because it's literally just across a road.
Yeah, but they would normally kind of drive out the front and go back and take the stuff back. But no, they did. They parked the van up at the main entrance of Silverstone and just walked because it just wasn't moving at all. I
couldn't believe how close the Aston Martin garage was to Silverstone when I went down the other year.
Yeah, literally right there. But then you can, if you take your car, you're not stuck in the campsites with your car, because you'll get. I mean, we got this one, it says campsite 1 on it, right enough, but you'll have whatever yours is. That gets you in and out, so you can take your car out. And, I mean, you can go down to Brackley. You're only, 10, 15 minutes to Brackley or something, I think, when you're down there. If you go the other way, you're in Milton Keynes. If you wanted to go and visit the Red Bull place, which is easy enough to do when you're visiting as a fan. If you're doing it as a marshal, you don't really have the chance for that because you're on post from 6:30 in the morning. And on the Friday night, we didn't get off post until 7:10.
Right.
Because they have, it's all the stuff that you don't see on the telly. So like the medical car will go round and do like a scenario at one of the corners to make sure that the marshals are ready if something happens at that corner. So you've got to stand there and do your double wave yellows. You've got to go out, and they've got dummies and all that kind of stuff, and deal with it as if it was a real incident, all that kind of stuff. It's a long busy weekend. I always take the Monday off work because 1, I don't know if I'm going to get back in time, and 2, it means I can get a wee bit of a rest before I go back to work on the Tuesday. Yeah,
so do you meet the drivers and that as well, do you? Or is it very few and fair between you?
You met Nico, maybe. I don't know, actually. Did you meet Nico?
I didn't meet anyone. I was on post.
I mean, because he started your post, didn't he? Mr. Yellow Flag 2 seconds late.
No, he pulled in across. He was across the road.
Right. I'll let John tell you about Yellow Flagging.
When I went down the Escapade last year, I met Adrian Newey.
Nice.
And he was Aston Martin Valkyrie.
Very nice. Because he designed it, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. His private reg was the RBR.
Nice.
I was talking to him, and he honestly, he was so nice. There was I think they were a Chinese family, and this dad says, "Look, my daughter's like doing like this sort of thing at like university, like design engineering or something." And you stood talking to her for a good 10, 15 minutes and trying to guide her in the right direction. Like he was a lovely, lovely bloke, really nice.
Mm-hmm. Aye, because he designed the RB17 as well, didn't he? That road going kind of hypercar thing.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, aye.
Aye.
I've got
But
his
from a
little-
marshal's perspective, unless you're in like a pit lane marshal or something, it's highly unlikely you're going to actually meet the drivers unless they come down to the briefing.
Do they come down often? Do they?
Every year, there's generally a driver or a team principal will come down. We got the race director this year. I couldn't tell you what the intervention marshal's got and what the post chief's got, but the flag's got the FIA race director.
Right, I feel like cracking through the Not Kill weekend, so I'm going to get an idea of what difference might be between Mr. Silverstone compared to Not Kill. But yeah, so I'll keep it pretty short. So this weekend, Not Kill was frantic. Build to do off track compared to on track as well. So we had, I think on the Saturday, it was 26 sessions. Does that sound a bit right? Yeah, 26, yeah, in a day.
Wow.
It was quite busy. So we got there, the briefing was at 7:45, so I'm assuming John would have left at around 6 a.m-ish. Yeah, so I was just picking up at that time, just for the record. And
See,
then,
what Aaron's not telling you is he lives 5-10 minutes away from Not Kill Circuit.
no, I live 5 miles from the circuit. It's brilliant.
5 miles from the circuit. I live. So if you look at Not Kill on a map and you look at Glasgow on a map, keep going for another 20 minutes, and I'm that way.
All right.
So it takes me a wee bit longer.
But yeah, so it was 7:45 in the morning, the briefing. You're on post for 8:15, where they come over, radio checks, all that, just sort of post inspection, And then at 8:30, we all start off. And the first bit is just sort of practice qualifying, naff. Most of the practice actually happens on the Friday, especially for the Scottish Minis, but we don't marshal the Friday. That's done by Not Kill, because it's technically a test day, but they just sort of practice there. So you go for that, couple of bits before lunch, you get 1, 2, maybe 3 races before lunch, and then you go off for lunch. We had a grid walk, so it's different with off track. So on track, I'm not sure, do you come in before the cars go out for the grid walk?
What do you mean?
Do you come back to get lunch before the cars come around for the grid walk?
Yes. So this weekend, for talking sake, our lunch would start at 12 o'clock. We would get in and they wouldn't bring the cars out for the grid walk till probably about 20 past.
Yeah.
There's about a 20-minute window.
So we would stay and we'd have 10 minutes between the final session, the final race before lunch finishing, and then us calling the next series to come down and grading off an assembly. Then to get sent out, then you have the grid walk, which we can go on because why not, mate? A laugh. There's a grid walk there. Go and walk it, John, you'd post 8, so we couldn't really stay, I don't think so.
I was post 10. I was right at the back of I was just at the
post
end.
10. Oh, yeah, post 10, yeah, weren't you? Did you go to grid walks?
I'm bored of grid walks now. I do the grid walks for touring cars. That's mainly because do you watch Tom Gray on TikTok? That guy Gray. He's the kind of posh guy with a hat. Oh, he used to do minis and all that. Now he does the touring car chat and stuff. Anyway, I just go and talk to the content creator celebrity people. I just for touring cars. I don't do the
so
grid
John's
walks.
just fancy. Yeah, then the rest of it is pretty much just getting cars down and getting them up for races, which can be quite stressful at times. But end of the day, I don't think there was any grids sent out that were wrong. I think the first supercar race might have been because that was just pure chaos. Because supercars, I'm not even joking, right? I'm with one of the other marshals, and his watch is going off saying that the environment he's in is over 90 decibels.
Yeah.
I mean, they are loud. It is insane. He sat there shouting at each other. That close to the guy next to you, shouting in his ear, trying to figure out what on earth's going on.
They're quite smoky as well, I noticed.
Yeah. No, if you stand behind a supercar and you breathe in a bit too much, you will start coughing for the next 5 minutes. Because they have to sit there going, voo, 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 to keep them from stalling. And even then, they stall sometimes. But so they're keeping pushing out smoke from the exhaust. So the entire thing, just a plume of smoke coming out of assembly.
Yeah.
Poor John that pulls tens on them, what the hell's going on? There's a fire or something in the screen air hat,
So you're basically getting them from the paddock, lining them up, and then handing them over to the pit guys.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just with a day where it's 26 sessions, it is literally, and this isn't even a joke, send them out, all right, nice, turn around, start walking up to the hut to go sit down for a minute or two, and then just the next series, the first car from the next series of the period, you haven't even called them yet. And it's all right, nice, do this now. But it's literally back to back to back to back. It's fun, don't get me wrong, but get your steps in. I did 20,000 steps, I think it was on Saturday. So
yeah, but the one thing as well,
you
you mentioned you've got your own kids as well. Depending on what their ages are, I mean, we've got people in assembly that were at one point they were 11 years old marshalling. All right,
I think you have to be 12 or older to it.
12 or older. So
it's supposed to be.
If one of your kids is 12 and they're quite into it, they can register as an off-track cadet marshal as well, and they could go with you and they could do assembly.
Yeah, she's 12 next year. She's just turned 11, so.
Aye. So if that was the type of thing she wanted to do, you could make it like a daddy-daughter day type thing down at Croft type thing.
Yeah, you could be. like when you go on race days, like when you go to circuits and that, do you get like a +1 guest so they can come and
Yes.
rock with you?
Yes. You
British Grand Prix as well.
Yep, British Grand Prix as well. You get a guest ticket. Every circuit will give the marshal a guest ticket. They won't get the lunch and stuff that you get, and it would mainly probably be for your wife because child tickets are free anyway. If they're under 12, a child ticket for a circuit is free anyway.
So I could speak from Knockhill. You've got to tick a box to get the guest ticket, because I didn't do it for the first 2 weeks. I only got a guest ticket. But I mean, it's literally general measure ticket, but it's, you're not going to complain about it, you know? I think the only rules of it is you can't give it away on TikTok like John asked, and you can't sell it.
All I asked was, could I the free ticket that I got, could I give it away to somebody from TikTok? Wasn't going to sell it. Wasn't going to do anything like that. I was just
I thought you were going to sell
away.
it, but you could.
And I was told no. They are for your use and your use only.
Yeah.
And I will say as well, when I marshal the bikes spoil you a lot. Like, you get fuel money for the bikes. Granted, it's like 10 quid per day, but you get fuel money for the bikes. And I did the meeting before the British Superbike Championship, and since it's not Hill Marshals, they can give you stuff like this, and you get a free ticket for the BSB for the weekend, the $3 ticket. Which is crazy to me, you know?
Yeah, but that is circuit specific. I don't know if Croft would do that.
That is very circuit specific.
There was one point last year, or a couple of years ago, where they were really struggling for marshals again, and they put an email out saying, if anybody wants to marshal this event, we'll give out free tickets for the Knockhill fireworks. And then I think they got oversubscribed after that one. But again, it was a circuit thing. It wasn't a racing club thing.
So the marshals kind of really kind of down levels to what they need, or is there plenty of them, just people don't bother with it?
You'll find that there is plenty of marshals out there, but a lot of them, for example, will go to Croft because they've maybe got friends at Croft or family down there, so they do a lot of that. Like I say, the weekend there at Knockhill, it was just a bad weekend. It was the weekend after the touring car, the Formula One. It was the weekend that Goodwood was on, so a lot of people down there to marshal that. A lot of people had just done 3 or 4 days at the Formula One the weekend prior, so they didn't want to do another weekend. We're not generally struggling for marshals. It was just that one weekend that everything accumulated. Like you say, there was a bike meet over at East Fortune as well, which a lot of the guys go and do. So it was just, I'm a flag marshal, but this weekend I was a post chief, that type of thing.
Typically, we are quite lucky with stuff because we are meet only circuit in Scotland for car racing at least. So we do get marshals every day. I know the bikes have a little bit more struggle with it. Actually, no, I might take that back because the meet which I did, I only did because my mate races 300s, and he basically said to me like, "Yo, we're short on marshals. Like at this rate, we probably will run the event." So, they ran the event thankfully, but I think that's because the Isle of Man TT was on. I think a lot of folk were over there for that because it's the Isle of Man, you know, who wouldn't.
There is a cracking photographer that goes to Knockhill, and he travels up quite a bit. Lee Fisher is his name.
There we go. So the right one. I was still checking. That's a joke, by the way.
Lee Fisher Photography, and he's from around about your area somewhere, Adam. He's from around about there somewhere.
He's about Newcastle area.
Yeah, and he travels up for every car meet at Knockhill. He travels up to take the photographs and things.
Yeah, Lee is quite a nice lad. Like
he likes his iron brew.
Yeah, I think Lee has a passion for taking photos of me when I'm not looking. Because when I'm on the page, like, he gets some good photos of me. But I'll look on and it's like, there's one of me in the assembly area. I've got like pouring wet air and the worst facial expression the whole time. Just sat there like, how has he got that? But yeah, Lee's a really nice lad. I've not met Fighter Photography yet, though.
You've not met John Stewart?
Yeah, I've not met him yet.
You'll have seen him.
I'll probably have seen him. I've not met him. To be fair, actually, I probably have, but I've probably not noticed it's actually Flight of Photography. Because Lee is Lee Fisher Photography, isn't it? But
yeah, and he does a lot with the SMRC social media stuff now as well.
Yeah,
I think it's
which I'm going to be on soon. I'm just saying, watch that page. The content they've done on the grid books and all that, it's brilliant. Like I would say what they've done, but I want them to release it and then sort of tell you what they've done because it's funny as anything. I'm in one of them. I can tell you I'm in one of them.
So have we answered some of your questions about marshalling, Adam?
Yeah, you've been really helpful. Just like when we're finished, will you send us over a message on how to do that course online, and I'll get it done this week.
I will do, mate.
And I'll start my journey of being a marshal. And you never know, 1 year I could be standing there with you.
Definitely, mate. Definitely. You need to come up to Knockhill for the touring cars because that's a busy weekend.
Yeah.
So the access at a touring car weekend is the complete opposite to a Formula One weekend. So on a touring car weekend, you will come through the front gate at I'll talk about Knockhill, for example. You'll come through the gate at Knockhill, and then it's free reign for the rest of the weekend. You can, after the racing on a Saturday night, you can walk through the paddock, you can go into the garages, talk to the mechanics, talk to the drivers, go down to the paddock club, and the drivers will be in there doing a wee thing with you. I mean, I can just walk through the paddock. Was it last year? Tom Ingram, or Tingram as he's known, short, just walking past, and I was like, you're not going to get very far with your overalls down at your race, pal. And they just have a wee bit of banter with you and stuff like that. Whereas at Formula One, everything is access controlled. You can't get in a place you're not meant to be. You can't do this, you can't do that. Whereas local, like Croft touring cars, for example, you can just walk through the paddock.
I'm going to add two things to that. One, Tingram, I will always tell the fan of me shouting at him to get out of the way because he just come off the podium. And I'd leave paddock neatly moved to the side so the Porsches to come through. And he sees Porsche coming through and goes to run across his garage, which would be fine. If a fan didn't step out and say, "Oh, Tom, can I get a photo?" And he stops exactly where he is, and his Porsche car behind him and goes, "Yeah, I'll get a photo." I just see his Porsche just creeping up on Tom Ingram. Tom, no! So he moved. I'm pretty sure the fan got the photo. I hope the fan got the photo. But yeah. But Croft, if you've not been to touring cars before, go to Croft this year for it. A, because I'll be there, and B, because it's got a great package. They've got a picture of Porsche's Mini Challenge, British F4, and the British Touring Car Championship. So it's 4 great series to go watch, to be fair. Knocker Marshalls might not like the Porsches as much, but I like Porsches.
Yeah. You'll find going to Croft or if you come up to Knockhill and stuff, you do tend to fall in love with the local racing. I know you're a massive Formula One fan, but if you don't already, you will fall in love with some of the series at your local circuit.
Yeah, I'll definitely give it a shot, like 100%.
Aye. And like I say, it's all voluntary. You don't get paid for it, but you get superior access.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for us, the main series we all love is like the Scottish Legends, Like, it is the most sort of well-known series at Knockhill, I think.
Well, they're supporting touring cars at Knockhill this year, and they supported touring cars at Donington.
So not Owen, it was, because I thought it was Croft, it was Owen.
Yeah.
Which was great. That, there were race replays up of that. If you go search up Scottish Legends at Croft and watch those races, mate, they're brilliant. They're only little sprint races. I think it was 6 laps they did.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But they're brilliant to watch.
Do you ever get if it's like a movie with racing, do you get invites to that as well? Special events and stuff, do you?
Well,
that's an interesting question.
That is a very interesting question. I couldn't be there again. There's a few that I've not been able to be on, but Aaron and Amber interviewed a lovely gentleman called Chris Toretto a few weeks back for the podcast. It is on the Spotify somewhere, and he is the writer and producer of a new film coming out called Shift, which is all about the story about how to get from karting into touring cars.
It's very it's like the F1 movie almost, but just British motorsport, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah,
That's not the best way to sort of sum it up.
Yeah.
While also keeping it realistic. So they're doing filming in I think done every series almost for this one driver. Now, I think it's based on this. I want to say Irish lad who's sort of gone from street racing to actual racing.
Yeah.
So it's going to be good, I reckon. But
yeah,
so
we've been talking with Chris, and Aaron's been talking and stuff like that, and he has said that when he comes up to Knockhill, he definitely wants to have some of the marshals in the film.
I'm going to find a way in one way or another. I might not be there, actually marshalling, but I'm see Chris. Someone else going to walk around the back of that shot. Whatever it takes, I'll find a way.
Yeah. But apart from that, generally no, because the Kaiser Chiefs, for example, recorded a video at Knockhill a few years back for one of their songs, but it was just Knockhill staff that did it.
All right.
Yeah, Gordon Shedden was in it, wasn't he?
He was. So was Rory.
Yeah, they're both Scottish touring car drivers for the record. They did.
Yeah. Do you follow touring cars at all? Do you know much about touring cars?
Not really, if I'm honest with you. No, kind of.
Believe me, if you advice I'd give you is watch touring cars.
Yeah, believe me, if you get into if you do get into the marshalling, Mick, and you marshal a couple of touring car meets, you'll be hooked.
They sound like.
I mean, the mantra for touring cars for many years was rubbing is racing.
Yeah.
Yeah, crashing.
You go from Formula One where it's the tiniest little tap and you get a 10-second penalty. From touring cars, well, Josh Cook in 2024, they went from the hairpin at Knockhill where Josh literally getting tapped, tell it's as a drifting around the hairpin, legging it down to the first corner, which is Duffus, which is just a quad goes down like that and I'm not on. He goes into there, he gets hooked again, spun across, tracks goes like this, and then to the right, which is McIntyre's. He goes just like that, straight to McIntyre sideways, comes back onto the track, almost collects people, doesn't get collected somehow, then gets to the front of the chicane, gets turned, smashed into a hay bale, and then eventually all stops. And he just keeps driving on.
Yeah.
But that's touring cars here. That's
Yeah.
me fall in love with it. It's just brilliant. There's no other series like it, really.
Yeah, well,
But-
I look forward to getting involved and hopefully getting me marshal's license and
Well, the good thing
If you-
is, like I say, I'll send you over the link for the website just to fill out your details and stuff. And you'll do the wee. It's kind of like a health and safety thing. You do that, and then they will just issue your license from that, and you will have your marshal's license, and then you can go for your taster days and all that kind of stuff. The marshal's license is what covers you for the insurance.
right.
So every circuit has insurance, but you have to have that card on you for the insurance to be valid.
And you have to sign on.
Yes, and you have to sign on in the morning.
And there's two things to add on as well. If you're quick, you could still possibly marshal touring cars and not kill. At Croft, because that's in September. So still got time to that. And then as well, with BMMC, if you're in that club, as far as I'm aware, BMMC, because I think I'm in BMMC, you can buy overalls. Like you see the orange they wear. You
Yeah.
can buy them and they're pretty priced at 150 quid at times, but they refund you for it.
All right.
So yeah, you get a full refund from the club. So it's part of the benefits of being in the club.
Yeah. So with BMMC, I think it's £20 or something to join the club, and then you can go into the little Racewear website, buy your Marshall's overalls that come with all the badges and that already on them, and then you just send the receipt to BMMC and they refund your money.
Class.
That's quite minted.
And you don't have to rejoin every year if you don't want to. You just rejoin when you want a new set of overalls.
Good point. You just spend 20 quid, get 130 quid return, and just go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how'd you do? But yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good marshalling.
Any
That's
other
pretty
questions
quick,
for us, Adam?
No, I think you've answered everything that I kind of was going to ask. Even some of the questions without asking them, you've answered. So you've been a great help. And
if there's anything ever that pops up, you can just send me a message and I'll try and answer it the best I can.
yeah, definitely. And if I'll not be marshalling at the Formula One next year, but hopefully I can message you and meet up for a pint.
Sounds like a plan, mate.
I can't
Sounds like a plan.
at Croft. If you end up at Croft with touring cars, it's kind of a pine, but I was close to you.
Yeah, definitely. Like obviously, if you're on TikTok, just give us a follow. I've got 3,600 followers on TikTok, so
I'm not.
There you go.
Try.
There you go.
I'm on 600. I think I'm doing well.
yeah, I built it up over the last year because I normally do my content over football, like Sunderland,
Mhm.
and that's how I build my content up. And then every now and again, I posted random video the other day of us saying I was going to Formula One, like you said. And then this morning, because in my truck, I've got my Sunderland flag, and then I've got my Sunderland top on my seat, and it'd been in the garage overnight, and the lad who seen us on Friday when I dropped it off was like, "Oh, you can get that off there." And I went in this morning, and if you've seen me TikTok, there's 2 pieces of tape on my steering wheel, and it says, "Sunderland is a tiny club, NUFC." So I've done a little video on it, and it's already got 6,000 views.
Yeah. I noticed actually when I was down at Formula One, it must be something to do with the algorithm. I don't know what it is, but posting. I mean, there was one random, like you're talking about random videos. I put a random video and it was, "This is how I get back to the post from going to the toilet." 15,500 views. And I'm like, what? And
Random videos are just like the 2 videos, which are the best on my page. I've got my entire page is motorsport, right? The 2 videos which I have posted that aren't motorsport are rugby based, right? I injured my knee in February, just for reference, and I went to the first home game, Sunset, right, just to watch the team, and it was pouring wet and muddy, and we scored a try, and we're almost beating a team we should get annihilated by. And my teammate, known for years and years, comes and running over to me like this and slips and just absolutely takes me out, and I got up and filmed. 100,000 views.
Wow.
God knows. And I posted one, which was just a scoreboard when we beat the USA 85-0. And all it was just a domination across screen, 10,000 views. And then the best most one I've got is Project Cars 2. I was playing at Mount Kell when Nicholas Hampton's in the game. I was Lewis Hamilton's brother, obviously. And the physics in the game, I made tiny contact with him, and his car just goes flying in the air. And it's just that. And it's 25,000 views. The algorithms are very weird. You put so much effort into video, because 10 views, and you put nothing into video, 25,000. What?
Yeah. For me, it's the ones that I really think about and try and plan them out, and we'll do this, and we'll do this, and we'll do this, and they seem stuck at like 500, and then I put a
Yeah.
random one of coming back from going for a pee, and it gets 15,000, and then I put
Yeah,
one on
and you-
about the freebie stuff from Formula One in a tent, resting on a bed, and again 15, 20,000 views, and I'm like, wow. I don't
My
know how.
mate, one in lockdown, where because we played golf, and where he like putted it, and it went between his lass's legs, and she was there on the side, and she like spat it out through her mouth, and it
Right.
went to a bowl, and it got something like 2.5 million views.
Wow.
Like, I know there was a video from Knock
He
Hill.
put it in the bowl, it went between her legs, and obviously she had one in her mouth, spat
Yeah.
it out into a bowl, and it got like 2.5 million views.
Yeah.
I know,
The thing is converting the views into follows.
Yeah,
yeah,
it is.
but I
But
got
I
30
found-
followers from 35,000 one. That's just,
But I found it when I was at Silverstone. I managed to gain 500 followers in a day for some unknown reason. And then when I was at Knockhill at the weekend there, I literally posted, "Hi, it's race day. I'm going to Knockhill." And then at lunchtime, "It's lunchtime. It's been a good day." And I've went up by another 50. Just kind of weird. I think it's because I'm posting from Knockhill, tagging Knockhill, and putting my location as Knockhill. It's
Yeah.
obviously putting the algorithm out to anybody that's near Knockhill or something.
I kind of find it works through hashtags as well.
Aye. Well, I usually just use like FYP, Marshall, Motorsport, and the next one that comes up. I
But-
don't really think about them.
Don't use FYP because it knacks it.
Does it?
Yeah, because it's got something like 7 billion views, like 7 billion tags.
Yeah.
And you know how you put, like, if you put Formula One, Silverstone, Grand Prix,
Yeah.
it'll put that algorithm. And if you put FYP, it'll knock it out that algorithm. So it'll just spit it to anyone. And that's how it works, sort of thing.
Right. Okay. So just keep the hashtags relevant for what you want to show.
Yeah. So I normally do Sunderland, CFC, Premier League. What other one do I do? I can't remember the other one I do. But just make it specific and don't put the FYP, and you'll tend to find you get a lot more views and a lot more followers.
Huh?
FYP knocks it out the algorithm that you want it to be in.
Right.
It on anyone, whereas if you want specific, like track people like racing car fans, just do like BTC touring, and you know how it says like there'll be like 150,000 if you put BTCC.
Mhm.
Click on it. Don't just write it in, and it
Mhm.
puts that algorithm.
Excellent. I'm taking that out the podcast, by the way. I'm not letting everybody know about that.
Yeah, I used to keep putting FYP and stuff on that.
I'll do 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Hold on. Just
No worries.
I
That's all
start
right. We can talk without them.
Yeah, I start getting more when I start putting the FYP in.
All right. Okay.
Knock out the algorithm you want it to be in, and it gets lost.
Yeah.
The videos.
Wow. Excellent. Well, I hope we've managed to answer some of your questions for you, mate.
Yeah, 100%. You have. You've been proper helpful, and it's been a really lovely chat. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming on. It's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, it's like one of them things when you post to someone and like they're at such a high event, you don't expect a response back. But you get a response back and actually be totally alive. For me, you're kind of someone famous, if you get what I mean.
I know what you mean. I've had a few people now. This is going to. I don't want to sound big-headed or blow smoke up my thingy. But I've been asked for autographs a few times. I'm like, are you really, just me?
Yeah, I've had a few photos and I'd say, "Oh, can I get a selfie with you?" And that I'm like, "Yeah."
Aye.
But
You ever
yeah.
thought about doing TikToks about the trucking?
I used to do it when I worked at my old place, but now me work that I'm at now is really health and safety, and because
Right.
I deal with, like, do you know what septic tanks are? Well, that's what I do, like septic tanks, but
Right. Okay.
building sites that have got their own toilet blocks, so it's like a
Mhm.
toilet on top of a tank, and like
Yeah.
I take the pooing way away.
Yeah.
It's really health and safety, and it's like it's meant.
No recording while you're driving. No recording while you're doing this. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Ryan. If there's like me pipes on the right way, it's
Yeah.
and if I
It's,
haven't
it's
got
like
my
me. I can't record anything for TikTok when I'm at work because I work for the local authority.
right, yeah,
And if there's a council logo or anything on it, they've got a team that are right on it all the time. And I know they watch because of even the Hegians up in head office. They're like, "Are you doing TikToks today? You've been doing TikToks at the weekend?" And they're like, "Okay, somebody watches from head office, so I'll just do my motorsport thing and just keep it at that."
yeah. That's why I do like me Sunderland one, like, and I've tried to do Formula One, but I kind of feel the Formula One's been taken by a few people.
Yeah.
But like the one I done the other day about doing the thing, it got 16,000 views, so I was quite happy with it.
Yeah. I mean, when I started my TikTok, it was all about trying to get people into marshalling. So if you go back to some of my really earlier videos, there is things on there, by the way, about the Motorsport UK website and stuff, but I will still send it over.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. And that was the thing with the podcast. It was to get people into marshalling and give them an insight into kind of like behind the scenes of what happens and all that kind of stuff. But we ended up with at the start, it was one podcast every Saturday at 10 o'clock. And it did start to get a little bit overwhelming with everything else that happens. Do you know what I mean? So I think we've got a podcast going out this week, and then this one that we're doing now will probably go out beginning of next week. And we'll get back into doing it. It's just with holidays and things that were happening. Aaron's been doing his exams at school and stuff.
I know the issues of that, right? The entire time through my exams, we released an episode every single Saturday, right?
We did, and now you finished them and we've not been.
Yeah, the week I stopped the exams is the week we missed some.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, it's kind of easy for me. Me daughter, because I'll just go, "Oh, do you want to record a podcast?" So
yeah,
and we just do it.
Yeah, but I did notice that when we were doing it every single week, the views or the listens, because we do the video version for YouTube, but most of the hits that we get is through Spotify or Apple Podcasts and that kind of stuff. And it spiked on the Saturday when we released it and then died off for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's probably, I think in total we're sitting, because we could have started at the tail end of last year, but I wanted to start it in January to give me a 12-month view of how we were doing with it and stuff. And in total, we're at about 35,000 streams, roughly.
Oh, class.
Across all the platforms, and you never know, probably 30,000 of them's me testing it as working. I don't know, but we're sitting at about that. But that's spread over all the podcast platforms because I put it into RSS, and then RSS distribute. I do Spotify on a separate thing through the creator thing that you do, but RSS, and they distribute it to Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, all the other. There's about 20 or 30 podcast places it sends it out to.
Right.
As well. I think it tries to send it to Spotify as well, and then I get a notification. Somebody's trying to use your name. I'm like, well, no, it's not. It's just me. It's trying to do it. What else was there? And we started putting them on YouTube. That's why there's a background on it now. Probably about April time, Aaron, YouTube. Probably. We started putting them on YouTube about April. March, April?
Yeah, about then. Yeah, I think so.
And that was just a test to see
that
was just a test to see if anybody would go onto YouTube and do the whole subscribe thing and that kind of stuff. But it still seems to be people like to have it in their pocket and just listen to it while they're doing whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I'm trying to do. See, my podcast with my daughters, like dads and daughters don't have that kind of bond as what mums and daughters do.
Yeah.
And it's trying to break that stigma of like having the conversations, because she's 11. Like she leaves school this week to go to senior school like next year. So kind of the hard conversations that are coming up, like with what's happening with her body and and everything like that. It's talking about that, but not all the time. Like that podcast that just went out today, she had a big dance show last Sunday, which was 2.5 hour shows. Then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, she was away for a residential, so she went to an outdoor activity centre.
Mm-hmm.
And then Thursday, Friday last week, she was at a transition day, so she went to our new school for a couple of days just to get the feel of it and stuff.
Yeah.
So Saturday we recorded it, talking about the week and what she learned and stuff. And hopefully someone might just listen and go, oh, well, I'm going to have that conversation with my daughter and see.
Yeah. See, I've got my oldest.
Yeah, hopefully it just breaks that bit of a stigma where like dads can talk to their daughters. And I mean, I'm not the perfect dad. I don't know who is by any sense of the imagination, but just hopefully that one conversation could spark another conversation that grows on a bit more. So
what's the podcast called?
Dad versus the Teenage Years.
Dad versus the Teenage Years.
I like that. That's a good name.
Yeah, so she's only 11, like going 12 next year, but it's getting into them teenage years. Yeah. That's when that's kind of drift away and kind of, I'm going out with my friends and doing this. So it's just kind of to bring her back with me and having that conversation, as I say. So we'll see how it goes.
Aye. No, like I say, I wish I had that kind of podcast when my kids were younger. So Dad versus Teenage Years?
Dad versus the Teenage Years, yeah, on Spotify.
Excellent. So anyone that's listening to this, once you've finished listening to this, which will be very soon because we're coming towards the end, go and have a search for that podcast and give yourself a listen and subscribe, follow, whatever it is you need to do on Spotify.
Yeah.
This is really off topic, but
If can I ask you a question to ask me?
Of course you
So is the I've got an email address called dadv18@gmail.com. Can you think of one question that you wish you could have asked your daughters as they were growing up and send it in to me so I can talk about it?
sound.
Aye. I'll have to think about it, but aye.
Yeah, like have a think, or is there something you wish you could have asked that I could possibly ask my daughter, if you know what I mean, just to try and breeze the conversation? So
What was that email address again, mate?
dadv18@gmail.
Oh, that's the one you emailed me from, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I'll write it just in case. Right, okay, I will do that.
Because it'd be interesting to see how you've gone through the years of teenager to where your daughter is now. Is there anything you think you could have sparked a conversation with or something?
Right, no worries. I will think about that and get that across for you.
Brilliant, thank you very much.
I'll put it. I'll put it in the email with the Motorsport UK website
Yeah,
address.
Yeah, that's a good idea, yeah.
Definitely, but yeah, thank you both very much. It's been brilliant to speak to you both, and hopefully I see you marshalling the track soon.
Definitely, and if not,
Never
we'll
know.
catch up with you at Silverstone next year.
100% you'll see us there next year.
I
Excellent.
won't be there.
You won't be there.
Get your
But
stuff
no,
down and-
Unless John kidnaps me and takes you.
You'd
It
take
wouldn't
in-
really be a kidnapping.
I
But
could stick you in the boot, but then you wouldn't have a camping pass and you wouldn't have a ticket to get in, so it'd be no point.
I'll find a way.
But no, Adam, thank you very much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on.
Yeah, no problem. Honestly, it's been, as I say, it's been a pleasure, and I've thoroughly enjoyed the chat. It's been brilliant.